Yo guys, welcome back to a brand new video and another episode of my F1 2019 career mode, here today for the reset, and we are here for round 2 in this Williams Road to Glory, if you will, and we're here for the Bahrain Grand Prix. If you guys missed round 1 for the Australian Grand Prix, the opening race of the season, where we tried to get points, did we get them? You can go watch the video and find out for yourself by clicking the card in the top right hand corner of the screen. Did we cause an upset in the first race straight away and spring a surprise, and go watch the video before it come back to this one? But for this race we have no rain expected. We also have our first upgrades on the car, one for general maintenance on the durability, and also 2 aerodynamic upgrades on the front and rear end of the car to improve downforce at both ends of the vehicle. But yeah guys, for this weekend I'm going to run 108% AI, just so you guys know, a little heads up. I'll explain a little bit more in detail in a minute in practice, but you can see on screen right now we're the only team to bring upgrades to this race, so that's good news. We've got a massive gap to close to the nearest car in Alfa Romeo, so we've got a lot of work to do and a lot of improving to do with this car in the next few races. But yeah, back onto what I said before, I'm running 108 this weekend. I did 110 in Australia, but I did 110 in practice and I was about a second and a half off of Kubica, my own teammate, so that was after the qualifying simulation runs had taken place, so I knew that that was pretty much my best pace, so I had to knock it down a little bit, go down to 108, and I got a much better result at 108, and the balance was much better in my opinion. So yeah, still going to be an exciting weekend. Nothing's going to really change, just pretty much this is one of the AI stronger tracks, along with China, which is up next, and also Baku, so I have to kind of tone down the AI here and try and keep it under control. But that was practice. It's a successful session, and we got a decent amount of R&D points, around 300 points to put into the transfer kitty, and we're going to move into qualifying. And again, can we try and spring out Q1? Is it going to happen? Probably not, considering where we are in the R&D pecking order. So for now, the target is just to beat our teammate Robert Kubica and see if we could try and just slip past the Alfa Romeo or something and try and get 1 or 2 cars in Q1 and try and not be on the back row of the grid. But yeah, overall, let's see how we get on in this session. I'm looking forward to it because I do love Bahrain. It's one of my favourite circuits, really good, especially since it transitioned to nighttime, and it really just adds an extra dimension. And also on this game as a whole, Bahrain looks absolutely incredible. So yeah, overall I'm looking forward to it. So let's jump into things here in qualifying and let's see how we get on in this session. Let's see if we could try and do something decent. In Australia, we qualified 19th. We out-qualified Kubica on 110% AI by half a second. So can we do something like that here again today? I guess we'll find out as we hit the track here in Q1. And also a small little tribute on the helmet to Antoine Hubert, of course, who unfortunately lost his life this weekend, and running the pink that he was running on his helmet this weekend for this race. But yeah, moving on to qualifying then. Here we are in our first run in Q1, 8.5 minutes to go. We're currently on the end of our first lap here. We're going to go for 2 laps in this session, and this first lap was actually pretty good. I was really happy this one. By far my quickest lap of the weekend by about a second. I found a lot of time in qualifying, and the car felt a lot better. We actually go P19 just in front of Kubica by literally a fraction, but eventually as we went into our final run, Robert improved to P18 and actually got ahead of Giovinazzi. So we need to get to the 128s if we can, to try and compete with Gio and also Kubica. So here we go then, straight away down towards turn 1. We're going to brake at the 100-meter board, down to second gear, and then later on first to pick up the rotation. Briefly back up to second and third gear on the exit. Make sure you pick up the short shift. Nice bit of traction there on the exit, and overall not too bad. I broke very early for turn 1. I could have gone a bit later on the brakes. I went way too conservative, but we now go down towards turn 4. Little lock up on the front right. Good traction on the exit though, and overall sector 1 is a small improvement, but could have been about a 10th more if I'd broken later for turn 1. I think I left a lot of time on the table there as we now go through the lefts and the rights, and now down towards the hairpin here at turn 8. Smoothly on the power on the exit if possible, and trying to touch the curb on the left hand side.
There's 2 minutes left in this session and we're in the drop zone. We need a quick lap or that's qualifying over for us.
Yep, and we have a huge lockup which isn't going to help our fortunes down towards turn 10. Unfortunately, I made a tweak to the brake bias into the corner, but it still wasn't enough as we locked up and ran deep and lost a heap of time. About, I want to say nearly 4/10, half a second possibly. It was a big chunk of time we threw away there, running so deep as we now go towards the end of sector 2. And you see here, we're not really improving. We're about a 10th down on our previous lap. We'd actually find a bit of time through the right-hander there and actually make up almost all of our delta, again, a much smoother run. And now down towards the final corner, braking as the line appears on the tarmac, which is the DRS detection line. And then on the power, on the exit, running up to the line, up through the gears, using some overtake mode to really maximise the speed. And we do actually improve a little bit, even though the delta wasn't accurate, we do actually improve by a fraction. But yeah, I think between turn 1 and turn 10, we left an easy half a second on the table. And I think it could have been possible to get in amongst it. Not to get out of Q1, but we could have definitely got Kubica and Albon for sure. So it's a shame, and we're going to start from last place, but it is what it is. Bahrain's very tricky, and they are very strong around here, and if you make a mistake, you get punished. So yeah, overall disappointing qualifying, but the best we could do, and into the low 29s, which is pretty good for my pace, because I couldn't get beneath 130 all weekend long. So overall, a decent quality, but we're now going to move into the race for round 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Let's go.
There's something in the Bahrain air tonight, and I'm not just talking about the sand. Our brightest minds have thrust their brightest ideas into the spotlight of the Sakhir circuit this evening as we look ahead once more to a Grand Prix that has thrilled us so consistently in the past. There's no shortage of passing opportunities around the 3.36 miles of the Bahrain International Circuit, with the best at turn 1 of course, and then another soon into turn 4. 15 corners here, 6 to the left and 9 to the right, and we could see 1 or 2 flat spots into the tight left-hander of turn 10. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Now, I want to ask you about Lando Norris. As with all the drivers at this level, they have a lot of ambition, but Formula One's a daunting step up from any other series, so expectations are high right from the start.
And this is something that has ended the career of many a young driver, as that leap up to Formula One proves to be too much. But luckily in this case, I'd say they're doing a good solid job, and the risk the team took in signing them is definitely starting to pay off.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The Finn starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Looking down the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Leclerc, Sebastian Vettel, and Verstappen, Perez, Grosjean, Norris, and Kevin Magnussen. Raikkonen, Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo, and Stroll, Kvyat, Albon, Robert Kubica, and Martinez. Hülkenberg and Antonio Giovinazzi starts from the back of the grid. And with lights out just moments away, it's time to go down to the track.
Okay, so here we are then on the grid for the Bahrain Grand Prix, starting from P18, the penultimate row of the grid, as the 2 cars behind us have penalties, and we start alongside Robert Kubica, who out-qualified us in qualifying yesterday. Not the best session for me. I think I could have maybe out-qualified him if I'd got a clean lap in. Too many mistakes on my lap. But in terms of the race today, we're going to go for the very obvious and preferred one-stop strategy with the mediums onto the hards. And my only concern is tyre wear. We struggle with this car a little bit. It's quite high on tyre wear. We struggled in the last race, so hopefully we can try and improve on that. Fuel-wise, we're going to increase this to 30 laps. And yeah, we're going to try our best and see what we can do. I don't think points are going to be possible, realistically speaking. We know Australia was a much better possibility for us, but you never know. I've always done pretty well in the race here, historically. I always need to pull out the bag, but this is the Williams car, so let's be realistic. Either way, my target for now is just to beat Kubica, my teammate who's been pretty quick all weekend, and we'll take it from there. So let's jump into it. It's time for round 2 for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Right, here we go. Let's build up the revs, try and get a good start here. 5 lights are on. Lights out, and away we go here at Bahrain. Not a bad start actually. We're going to crank it up to rich mix. We don't actually lose any positions for a change. Huge lock up on the front right as we go down the inside of a few cars. Quite aggressive on the start here. Kubica as well. Making a move there. We had to get on the brakes because we just brushed the back of Kvyat there. Did we get damaged? No, we didn't. Down the inside of Kvyat here at turn 4. Force our way past the Toro Rosso. Yes, we do. What a start from myself and Kubica, up to 15th and 16th. Really, really good start. Aggressive start from both of us. We know this is our best chance to make positions and overtake, so we're going to take it early on. Let's see if we can hang in there though with the pace. Obviously, it's going to be quite tricky. I think Kubica might be okay. I think he's had better pace. We'll see. In race trim, I'm normally better, but I still tend to struggle, especially in the initial phase. It's all about hanging in there. The good thing about it is, unlike Australia, where everyone around us was on the super softs and we was on the mediums, this race everybody around me is on mediums, so it'll be a bit more of a level playing field as well, which will help us out. Are we flat through here? Not quite, just the smallest of lifts as a precaution. Good exit there. Kubica just starting to drop back a little bit from the car in front, as you'd expect. Meanwhile, Kvyat putting the pressure on behind. I'm going to try and not use too much ERS. if I can avoid it, because this car is not that efficient just yet. I'll use some rich mix, and that's why we put the extra fuel in. Kvyat is close, so I'm going to use the tow here to try and stay in front, but Kvyat is gaining. We're going to have to turn the engine up here, up to overtake mode, and show Kvyat the long way around. I'm very good on the brakes, very late, and we match Kvyat. And we stay in front for now as we go on to lap 2. Good start. Yellow flag. Oh, someone's blowing up in front of us. It's the Renault, Daniel Ricciardo, already on lap 2.
Green flag.
First retirement of the race. Will we get a VSC or a safety car for that one? We got a VSC in the first race. Ricciardo out, confirmed. Seems like we won't get a VSC or a safety car for that one, as we have our first retirement already. And we're now up to P15, and Kubica up to P14, and we're still in this race. So far, this is good. A few more of them, that'd be lovely. Onto the pit straight, I'm having to turn the engine up here.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Going defensive again versus Kvyat. Kvyat a little bit braver on the brakes this time around, but we're still comfortably staying in front. So we just managed to hang in there with my teammates' DRS, which is very important. The 3 cars in front are going to start battling now, so it's a good chance for us to stay with these guys and stay in the race. Okay, Kubica's harvesting energy here. He's just dropped off the pace a bit. We've got a little bit of breathing room with Kvyat this time. We've had a bit of a better lap there, matching the personal best, but Kvyat not so close, so it takes the pressure off a little bit. Another big battle in front, big gaggle of cars there, you can see on the mini-map. 5 or 6 cars, that's good news for us. As we are still hanging in there with DRS, and also it's a good chance for me to save ERS and stay well above target. Car's working good, I'm really happy so far, feels fantastic, I've got to be honest, the best it's felt all weekend, with the exception of qualifying of course. Really good first sector as well, there we go. Another personal best, good pace. Hanging in there at the minute. Okay, Kubica doesn't have DRS and the car's in front for the first time, he's dropped off a little bit. We're going to use this as a chance to get close and maybe make a challenge. Depends how good of an exit we get out of turns 1 and 2 and 3 here. A little bit of oversteer, a bit of a corner cut, but we control it. Up the hill, overtake mode engaged. We're gaining on Kubica here. Very long, very wide little lock up there. We run far too hot on the brakes. We do get the switchback though. We're going to get on the inside of Kubica here. Robert just holds on. For now, we're going to get the run down the hill. Had a look, no way through. We tried. I just got it a little bit too hot on the brakes into turn 4. I wanted to be a little bit tighter and narrower to Kubica there. Battles all over the place though, because in front of us you've got the Racing Point and the Alpha battling away, and that train in front is not too far away still. They're still relatively within sight, so this is looking pretty good so far, pretty tasty. Okay, this time we're definitely going to get the overtake done. We're going to make sure we do through the final corner. Smooth on the power. There we go. Kvyat's actually very close, so we're going to have to get this done. Here we go. Kubica might lose a few places here, not just one. To the inside we go. Simple pass, job done. Someone's sent one as Kvyat on the brakes. Down the inside I've got to leave some room. Probably get in front of the Russian there. Job done. We get past our teammate up to P14. We've got Raikkonen in front. He's in the hard tyre, so it would be nice to overtake him because the Alpha is the next slowest car after ours in the R&D chart. Oh, bit of contact. The Racing Point of Stroll on the soft tyres and Raikkonen's Alpha on the hards. Saw that debris there at turn 1. Let's get after them. They're still battling away here very heavily. Right, here we go. We're closing in on Stroll. He's the one that got the damage in the end. So he's slow through the corners. He's vulnerable. We're going to have a chance here. I'm going to try not to use any ERS. Try and keep that battery charged up as best as we can. Do we have enough? Mercedes versus Mercedes power. Yes, we do. Here we go. We're getting the run. Down the inside on the brakes. Nice pass. Nice and smooth. A little bit of a lock up, but nice and tidy. No contact. Keeping it down at the apex. Nice and smooth. Nice and tidy. And Kvyat doesn't get by straight away, which is good. Right, can we catch Kimi here? We know the Alpha's quicker car, but it's on the hard tyres, which is not the ideal compound, so we might have a chance here. Stroll still hasn't been overtaken. This is buying us a lot of time and a lot of space on track, which is good. Taking the pressure off from behind, which is what we want. Okay, finally Kvyat gets past.
We're approaching the pit
cars in the pit lane. As we make a couple of moves. Up to P11 now. Mercedes there rejoining just in front of Kimi. Kimi's a little bit quicker than me on the hard tyre. He's got more pace, so fair play. We can't really match him at the minute. It's just about hanging in there and banking down those two stoppers to really bring us into this race. With that gaggle of cars before, I think there was a couple of McLarens, Haas cars, maybe another Renault just up the road. A lot of those might be on a two-stopper because they start on the soft tyre, so they might be my chance to get into the points here today, which I didn't expect, but we do have a chance of doing it in a minute. If we keep our pace going consistently, we've got a chance, but we've got to keep pushing every single lap like it's a qualifying lap. Personal best, there we go, good pace. No more cars in the pit lane this lap. Seems like the AI are going to try and stretch this to a one-stop, even on the soft tyres. Okay, surely there'll be cars in the pit lane this lap. No.
Box. We're coming in this lap.
Very impressive, the AI really stretching out their soft tyres, very long. Okay, Pierre Gasly's all over the back of me here. But we're going to pit in, so hopefully it doesn't cost me too much time or get in my way too much.
Don't forget, box this lap.
I'm going to try and turn the engine up and stay in front here, there we go. I don't want to be challenged. To the final corner. And then we'll just release Gasly with DRS on his way. As we're going to pit in and do a one and only stop. Lots of cars in the pit lane. Good entry, good stop there. Very good. Couple of cars in the pit lane. We've got a Haas and a McLaren in there. We need a good stop from the Williams boys. A classic Williams pit stop. Let's see what they got for us as we go into the pit box. Here we go. Fantastic. I pulled the clutch literally to the millisecond perfect. I thought I went too early, but 2.3, good stop.
Look after these tyres now. We want to finish the race on this compound.
Away we go then on fresh hards. These ain't going to feel too great, but you know, this tyre wear the car has is quite realistic in the sense that we have to use a harder tyre to match the other AI cars' tyre wear performance. So definitely going to be some tyre wear chassis upgrades coming soon. But these tyres feel great already. I can feel the grip, and that's, you know, when you say that about the hards, you know your previous tyres were quite screwed. So let's get to work. Let's get an undercut going. Maybe we can undercut Raikkonen, who's staying out, of course, in those hard tyres for a little bit longer. Of course, we'll have to defend later on, but I've got a chance to get past him, so let's use it.
Robert is in the pits. Robert in the pits.
And how many others are in the pit lane? Let's find out. Let's crank her up here for the pit straight, maximum speed in case anybody's in the pit exit. Okay, 3 cars in, so we're up to P14. So we're P14 on merit at the moment, which is fantastic. I didn't expect that. That's already exceeding expectations. Can we stay there? Can we go any further up? Let's find out. But for now, P14, half race distance. Pretty damn good. Very good lap this one. Very happy with this. If I can keep this level of pace for the rest of the race, I'll be very happy. The 33, maybe even the 32 possibly. As the fuel burns off, I'd be great if I could keep that pace up. Okay, Kimi leaving the pit exit now. Looks like we haven't been able to undercut him. He's rejoined on medium tyres. So there we go then, looking like P14 for us. So from now on it's all about trying to keep Kvyat behind, maintain the gap. Pace is good, consistent. Okay, Giovinazzi in the pit lane. Up to P13, he's also gone into the medium tyres, so there we go, I'm very happy with that one. Losing about 0.2 a lap to Kvyat per lap.
We advise moving to mix 2. Fuel to mix 2.
Just trying to keep the gap above 4 seconds as long as I can. But yeah, we're losing about 1/10 to 2/10 a lap every single lap. So the gap is gradually coming down. But if it comes down at this rate, we should be okay. What worries me is the Renault behind him. I think that's Hulkenberg or Ricciardo. And they're starting to pick up the pace. So they could become a threat. Personal best. Just missing out on a 132. But the car's getting lighter. The pace is picking up a little bit. There we go, into the 132s. Good pace. Kvyat still pushing, gap 3.4. Just got to keep pushing every single lap. Another fastest lap, or personal best should I say. I'm trying my hardest. The gap's still coming down though slowly. Now things are going to get interesting. I'm running very low on ERS. I've got to start saving. I'm going to have to start running it in low and none. Starting from turn 4 onwards. So we might start dropping a little bit more lap time. That's not good. Massive drift there. That's not what we want. I'm managing to go even faster and saving ERS in the middle part of the lap, which is good. I'm also burning fuel tactically, so I should pretty much run out going on to the last lap. The gap's 2.2. I've got to try and keep him out of DRS as long as I can. That's going to really help us out. Not such a good lap from me, but not miles off. Kvyat though has really picked up the pace this lap. Big time, 1.2 behind. He's gained a second. That was a big lap from him. Okay, he's within DRS now for the first time. Seems like the AI are levelling up the pace a bit. Sebastian Vettel's just done the first lap of the race. Seems like all they are because picking up the pace now towards the end. I don't have much to fight with, but I've got enough. I'm trying to stick to my pace here and trying to do as best as I can, but Kvyat is showing signs of wanting to snatch P13 away from me. All about getting a good exit here if we can. We'll take the pressure off. We'll take that, that's pretty good. A little bit of overtake mode just to create a gap. Keep it in rich mix. Here comes Kvyat. He's going to go for it. I'm going to have to go defensive. On the inside, we can defend this all day long. I'm good on the brakes to turn one, I'm confident. And we've got no pressure from behind at the minute, as that Renault starts to close in as well. Back up on the front left, that's not ideal. We're still going to get a good exit though. Power down. Kvyat's closer this time, we're going to have to hang it in overtake mode a little bit longer. Now we go defensive. Going to stay a lot higher up this time, not so inside, to give myself more room to manoeuvre. And there we go. Come on, 2 laps to go, we can do this. Kvyat's close, but he's not close enough. I've just had a look, my left rear is on 67%. This Williams car does chew for its tyres, especially when running a little bit more of an aggressive setup to try and get a better result. We're matching our personal best this lap, but the pressure's building, and also that Renault has now joined the party. I want to say it's Daniel Ricciardo, but I'm not 100% sure. Right then, let's see what exit we get this time. Not great. Kvyat's close again. We're going to wait a little bit longer to turn it into overtake as we set a personal best. Last lap of the race, here comes Kvyat. The Renault not too far behind. Kvyat trying to go around the outside. We're going to go for the squeeze. Compromise his line a bit. Hopefully he'll feel the pressure now from the Renault up towards turn 4. There you go. We can see he's got the Renault right behind for company, which will give me the chance to pull away as we take the apex. It's Hulkenberg actually, as he makes the move. They're side by side right now as the fireworks go off. Hamilton wins in Bahrain. Bottas picks up the fastest lap. But this battle behind gives me the chance to pull away, although Kvyat has stayed in front for now. And Leclerc snatches the fast lap away right at the end. Let's hang in there, come on. We can use the rich mix now, we can burn it up. And the overtake mode as well. A few more corners to go, just take it nice and easy. No mistakes now please, and we'll be okay. Nice and smooth through here, on the power. Use up the overtake ERS on this back straight and the fuel. To the final corner, easy again, on the power, and there we go, job done. Good defensive driving, and we bring it home for P13 in the Bahrain Grand Prix. Get in there, good result.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Fermé.
And Mercedes have pulled off a great victory here today. Anthony Davidson, what helped them deliver this result, do you think?
Well, I know it's a bit of a boring answer, but the truth is they simply had the best speed package on the day, and a driver who knows how to take advantage of that. It doesn't matter how much time you spend poring over the stats and planning strategies if you can't keep the pace, and our winner today showed they could do both.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
cutting your way through the field during the race. You're breaking all expectations. What's your secret? Great. Well, that's everything.
Right, so here we have the final race results for the Bahrain Grand Prix. Lewis Hamilton picks up the win for Mercedes, making it a Mercedes 1-2. Sebastian Vettel beats Charles Leclerc to the podium for P3, but Charles Leclerc picks up the fastest lap, and the Mercedes just a bit too quick for the Ferraris here today. And then both of the Red Bulls 5th and 6th, with Verstappen beating Pierre Gasly. And then we've got Sergio Perez best of the rest ahead of Lando Norris, Kevin Magnussen and Carlos Sainz. We come home P13 on merit on a fantastic one-stop strategy, and if there'd been a few more two-stoppers, it could have been a really good race, and I think we could have scored points, but there wasn't any two-stoppers here today, and yeah, just a one-stop all round pretty much. And you can see the Williams car does chew its tyres quite badly. Surprisingly, nobody got lapped. Alexander Albon bringing up the rear in the Toro Rosso, but yeah, very good result. We beat Kubica in the race. Even though Kubica set a quicker personal best lap than us, we had the better race pace and was more consistent. Daniel Ricciardo, the only retirement of the race in the Renault. But in terms of the standings after that race, now we have 2 races in the books. We are currently P13. We are the best of the non-scorers, if that makes sense, with 0 points, as we've had the best finishes. And Lewis Hamilton, 2 out of 2, 50 points, top of the table. And then Leclerc and Vettel, equal points, 31 apiece. And Valtteri Bottas with that second place jumps up to P5 after retiring the first race in Australia. And Max Verstappen there P7, so he's also on the recovery grind in the Red Bull. In terms of the constructors though, Mercedes overtake Ferrari for top spot, and those two already leading the way. Red Bull P3, McLaren P4, so those 4 teams very similar to real life. And we're currently 9th, with the only team not to score points alongside Renault, and we're at the bottom of the table, but hopefully we can score some points sometime soon. I think it will happen once we get to Spain and Monaco, those kind of tracks, but for now it's all about surviving. We go to China next, and then we go to Baku, 2 more strong tracks for the AI, and then we go back to Spain, and hopefully that'll be a better track for us. But guys, that is going to be it for this episode of Career Mode, and we're going to save up some points to make some more upgrades down the line, but for now we're just going to try and save some points and invest those later on. But guys, if you enjoyed the video, drop a like, and also get subscribed if you are new for daily Formula 1 content, and turn on notifications to not miss any videos from me. And finally, check out these 2 videos on your screen if you have missed them. But other than that, guys, thank you for watching. I'll see you in my next one very soon.